Welcome back to Half the Battle. I'm your host as always, Daniel Levi, your co-host Shaq, and joining us now is the man competing next week on Dana White Tuesday Night Contender. I'm talking about Casey Kenney. Casey, welcome back to Half the Battle.
Hey, thanks guys. Always a pleasure to be on the show.
Oh, the pleasure's all ours, man. So, dude, you went out there against CJ Hamilton, and I mean, we've known this guy for a long time because we're from Georgia. He's from Georgia. He's one of the best flyweights over here in our part of the world. And you went out there and got the unanimous decision against a very tough guy. Tell us about that experience, man.
Just the whole experience in general was great. Fighting in the tough gym, not many people get to do that. That's something that I've been watching. I've been watching The Ultimate Fighter for a long time, so that was just fighting in there. Was almost like a goal. One of those bucket list things to kind of check off. And the fight itself was awesome, man. Both of us came out the gate. Had that adrenaline dump. I landed that head kick at the beginning that I thought was going to put him away. And, he's a tough dude, though. He took a few of my shots, landed some of his own, especially in that first round. And just the whole experience of the fight, we kind of settled in kind of in that second round. Kind of both found our rhythm. That's when I wanted to open up my grappling. Got the takedown, took his back. Was looking for the finish there, and then the third round, I think we were both just fighting out of pure heart. We were both kind of blew our wad, and we're just going through the motions, and got that takedown in the third round as well. Kind of sealed the deal.
Oh yeah, you got to do what you got to do. So you mentioned the bucket list, and I got to ask you right off the top, what was it like getting to share a little herbal remedy with the legend Snoop Dogg?
Dude, that's a bucket list for most people, dude. I got to hang out with him for 5-10 minutes afterwards. Like you said, share the love, and it was great, man. I think I didn't get the contract that night, but hanging out with Snoop Dogg was just as cool.
Yeah, Casey, I noticed that you come from the state of Arizona, and that state has produced some great UFC fighters. Your coach, Chris Carriazo, Dominic Cruz, Henry Cejudo, George Roop, the list goes on and on. How has those guys' success in the MMA game influenced you?
Oh, a ton, man. A few of those guys you just named, I get to train with, every day with Chris. I just got done. It was just me and him training this morning. Trained with George Roop a lot. I've got to train with Cejudo here and there when he was doing the Ultimate Fighter thing. Just all those guys in general. I'm trying to kind of follow their footsteps, if not take it over and do it better than they did. I'm a competitor. I'm kind of like got a little competition with my coach. He fought for the title. I want to win the title. I want to one up him. Just something that I've always been a competitor my whole life. The people around me, they push each other, as like most teams and teammates, coaches. They all do. They all thrive off each other some way.
Now, Casey, I heard that you're a 9-time judo champion.
Yeah, man. Yep. I started judo when I was 5. Let's see. I had my first competition about 6 years old. I won my first national title at 10, and then after that, I got a taste of what it was like to be. I could be at the top, and that was really when my competitive nature kicked in. As young as 10 years old, and I went on a tear for. Really did judo all the way up until I went to wrestle in college. I got recruited to go to the Olympic Training Center for judo afterwards. Wasn't the same. Judo's not on the same level as wrestling. I had wrestling scholarships that kind of outweighed the judo opportunity. But I was definitely right there when I stopped competing. I felt like I could have been an Olympic level judo player for sure.
Yeah, Casey, considering your last fight, personally, I thought you should have gotten that UFC contract. So going into this next fight, do you go in there with the mindset that I need to put more out on the line and look good in front of Dana White, or knowing that if you can get this win for the second time, is your mindset just get the win by all means?
That really my mindset for every fight is go out and try to finish the guy. I've had a lot of fights end by finish. My last two opponents have been super tough, and they've held on. So I guess it's not a whole lot of extra pressure. I believe that's my fighting style. I'm coming out and I'm trying to finish somebody from start to end. Obviously, at a high level, you gotta kind of play it by ear and look for those. Take those very carefully. But I think that I go out and I do the same thing I did against C.J. Hamilton. I was trying to finish the guy the whole time. He survived. Honestly, I don't think Antolin survives. That first round onslaught. But if he does, and I put on another dominant performance, I'm pretty confident that I'll walk away with a contract.
Now, what do you think about this matchup between you and Adam Antolin? Because obviously he's experienced as well. He went in there on tough. He fought Damasio Page. He got a victory. What do you think about this matchup?
He's like you said, a veteran, tough guy. He's beat some tough guys. I think that he's got a few things that he's going to be trying to do. I think honestly he's going to just try to wear me down, drag me out into the later rounds, and try to outwork me. I don't see that being a problem. I think I'm going to be skilled as far as like technique, skill, strength, all that. I think. I can top him. I feel like he's kind of on the outs of his career, and I'm coming up. So, I'm going to be younger, faster, stronger, and on top of it, it seems like he's had some problems with some tough grapplers. And I think I rate right up there with the toughest of the grapplers in that division.
In your opinion, is a game plan of trying to outwork you kind of a dumb game plan? The reason I ask that is because your last fight with C.J. Hamilton, both of you guys are gassed out, and you went out there, got that takedown in the third round. That, to me, is the definition of outworking someone.
Right. That's what I do. You know what I mean? I do think it's kind of a dumb game plan, but really, I think that's the only game plan he's got. You know what I mean? And that's almost... that's a far-fetched right there for sure. That's what I take I pride myself on is going out there and, breaking somebody. Doesn't matter what kind of shape they're in before the fight, I'm sure C.J. Hamilton was in phenomenal shape, and if he would have done any other fight, he would have been just fine for 15 minutes. But, I came out and I put the pressure on him, kind of like that Conor McGregor pressure, not too crazy, but he's just constantly in your face. He did a real good job against Chad Mendes, and that's good. The kind of pressure that I want to bring, the pressure that makes the fighters want to get out of that fight, and then also in the long run, it kind of kills their cardio too, and doesn't matter what kind of shape you're in before the fight, I'm trying to break you, and so maybe not a dumb strategy on his part, but honestly, I think that's his best bet.
Yeah, Casey, I have a theory that, the longer, leaner guys in their division are taking over the game. And, I consider you a longer flyweight. How do you think you stack up with the UFC flyweight division right now? We know that DJ's been the champion forever, but I still feel like the flyweight division's gaining steam. It's competitive. And how do you think you fit in with those guys right now?
Oh, man, I think I'm right in the top. Obviously I'm young in this sport. I can keep improving every day, but I think I could get in the mix right now, and definitely stir up the pot. I do agree with you there. That's why I cut to 125 to be the longer, leaner. I believe I'm a big 125er. Gonna give somebody like DJ problems. Somebody that's just as fast as him and with a little bit of reach. On top of the strength as well is, that's going to be problems for anybody. And I don't see, too many guys being bigger than me in the division either. There's some guys that are taller than me, but, I pride myself in cutting weight too. I don't think there's too many people that are going to be bigger than me at the flyweight division. So, going in, imposing my will, using the little advantages that I have, some strength, some, explosion, speed, a little bit of reach. I'm taking it, I'm running with it, man. But, I think after I get this contract, I start picking off some guys on the roster one by one.
So Demetrius Johnson's taking on Ray Borg next, and I think it's such an intriguing matchup. Now, a lot of people are just going ahead and counting out Ray Borg. And the lines maker, I mean, he's currently a plus 750 underdog. So no one's giving him a chance, but if you've seen Ray Borg fight, you know this dude's nasty with his scrambles, and he's the kind of guy that rises to the occasion. Do you think he can be the man to dethrone the great Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson?
Man. I think anybody's got a fighting chance once they go in there, but honestly, I don't. I don't think Ray Borg, I mean, he's exciting, he's got it, but I just don't think he's the man to do it. And mainly because I want Demetrius to hang around. I want him to keep knocking people off, and hopefully wait till I get there. I'd like to be the king. If someone does it before, I'll be a little bummed, but that would be the main reason. But I've watched Borg. I've watched his last couple fights. Actually, he's tough. I just don't think he's going to be the man to do it, though.
Yeah, and when you're training and you're pushing it in the gym, is DJ on your mind at the end of these training sessions?
Man, DJ's been on my mind for a long time. So definitely since he fought my coach. But he was on my mind. He was the guy to beat. I think. Shoot, when did he have his first title defense? That was against Benavidez, I believe. That was when they had the merger of that was when they added the 25 division, which has been 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
I wasn't even training mixed martial arts at the time. You know what I mean? But I knew who Demetrius Johnson was, and I knew he was the guy to beat. So he's the guy that's been there forever. That would be an honor to fight against him and ultimately dethrone him.
So what do you think about, these up-and-comers in the flyweight division? Shaq kind of alluded to it earlier. You got these guys like Sergio Pettis coming up, and you saw his performance against Brandon Moreno. He looked absolutely incredible. And, I know people like to shit on the flyweights, but for me as a fan of the sport, I love watching exciting fighters. That's what you guys are. So what do you think about the evolution of the flyweight division?
Yeah, man. Obviously at a high level when you got guys that are, that technical and almost virtually identical as far as like strengths and speed and all that. It's just really, who wants it at the end of the day. When it comes down to those fights, who shows up on fight night. But as far as like the evolution of the fighters and stuff, I see the all of MMA, not just the flyweight division getting better day by day. The amateurs are well rounded now. I think myself. I'm kind of one of those new breed of fighters. I don't really have any holes in my game. Those guys are going to be tough to beat, and mixed martial arts is kind of becoming its own sport. These one style guys are kind of almost non-existent anymore because they just get picked off. Their weaknesses get exposed. So it's a great time to be in mixed martial arts. That's for sure. It's a wide open game, and I believe the flyweight division is one of the more wide open divisions in the UFC. You can come in, knock off a couple guys, and be right there in title contention. So it's a great weight class to be in.
Well, Casey, it's going down next Tuesday, August 29th. You versus Adam Antolin, Dana White Tuesday Night Contenders, UFC Fight Pass. If it were up to you, how would this fight go down?
Oh, man, I'm looking for the finish. Like I said, I'm looking for a finish always. But first round finish, get in out of there, get my contract, and then, like you said, start getting in the mix with the top in the world.
Well, Casey, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us right here, right now on Half the Battle. It's been an absolute pleasure. Let the audience know where they can follow you, and any message for the fans, go ahead.
Oh, of course, man. I'd love to come back anytime. But you guys can follow me at CKMMA125 on Instagram and Twitter, and then Casey Kenney on Facebook. And to all my fans out there, anybody that's on board a team, Casey Kenney, I love you guys, and thank you for your support. We're just getting started.
Casey, thanks again for the time, man, and best of luck in the fight.
Hey, thank you guys. Have a good one.
You got it, man. Peace out.